Hello friends, welcome back to our session. In this session, we are going to discuss about looping techniques. Now first of all, we need to understand what is loop means. Whenever we need to repeat a process for required number of times or till the validity of criteria, we need to establish a loop. Hope you understand the basic definition of a loop. What is loop? Means whenever we need to repeat a process. Means let us understand, if you have a group of programming statements, maybe having 10 lines which are useful for performing specific tasks. But now the requirement is you need to repeat this process for required number of times. Right? Means like 10 set of lines, you need again 5 times. Means instead of writing 50 lines of code, you need to set a loop. Means you need to write that 10 line of set in a loop, so that entire processing block will repeatedly execute till the given number of times or till the criteria remains true, till the validity of a criteria. And this technique, such phenomenon is called as loop over there, right? So there are 3 main types of loop, and that are, one is while, we write the expression for validity, and then the looping block, and here you need to define the process which you want to repeat. Means here in this case, till this expression remains true or valid, means whenever the control comes to this particular block, right, till these expressions remain valid, it is going to repeatedly execute this process, repeatedly going to execute this entire programming block for n number of times. N number of times in the sense till the expressions remain valid. Means if the expression is going to remain valid forever, then this loop is going to perform till infinity, right? But obviously we don't need all the time infinite loop, or we need a finite step of programs. So till the validity of these expressions, this loop is going to perform it over there. In such situations, you need to write the loop called as while loop. Means whenever you need to repeat a process till, means you don't know the how many the number of steps, the number of iterations, the one performance on one process of a loop or one time execution of a loop is called as iteration, right? What is called as iteration? One process of a loop, one time execution of a loop, right? That is called as iteration. Means if the total number of iteration is not known to you, then you need to set the while loop. Means while this expression remains valid, you go on processing this. That is called the while loop. And the second is do while. And the expression. Now here in this case, in case of while loop, it will evaluate the validity firstly and then process. Means if your expression is not valid, initially, then it will not perform one time also, right? Because the validity you are checking on the top lines. But in case of do lines, sometimes what we need to process once. We need to process once and then check the validity. And if this expression is valid, then reprocess it again. Means in case of do while loop, the validity of expression we are going to check on the bottom line. So we'll process the block and then check the validity, and then it will keep on continue repeating process till the expression remains valid. And if it is, once it became invalid, it goes out of the loop over there. Means at any given situation, do while loop is going to process once, because it is not going to test the validity on the top. While loop is going to test the validity on the top, and if it is remain valid, then it is going to process. But do while, it is going to process and then check the validity of it. And the third loop is called as for loop. Means like in case of for loop, the start, the stop and the step, right? All these three things are going to write in a single statement. Means like to set any loop, right? To set any loop, we need to write initialization, right? Now expressions means your stop value, where you want to stop. Means that to perform any loop, define any loop, we'll be needing the three main statements. One is start value, stop value and state value. Now in the case of while, do while, in the case of while, do while, these three statements we need to write it separately, right? Means like stop means you write that expressions with the while. Start means somewhere you have to initialize the process, and state means somewhere you are down the line you need to perform the incrementation and decrementations. But in case of for, these all three start, stop and step statements you need to write in a single line. Means whenever you are having a finite step in mind, let's say you want to repeat a process for 10 times, means total number of iterations are known to you, total number of processed are known to you, then you can simply write I equals to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. It means what? And then define the process. It means what? Whenever the number of iterations are known to you, right? Means like you want to means like the total number of iterations or a loop are finite steps. You don't do it. You don't know, like in case of while and do while, what the things are happening. You don't know the number of iterations till the validity of criteria. All the three things are possible. It may perform finite time, it may perform infinite time, or it may perform it may not perform also once. Means all the three things are possible in case of while and do while. The only difference between the while and do while is while check the criteria and then process, and in case of do while, without checking criteria, once it will process and then check the validity of a criteria, and it keep on repeating the process till that expressions remain valid. Means it may not perform once, it may perform for number of times, or it may perform n number of times or infinite times. That all the three things are possible in case of while and do while. But in case of for, if you know the counter, right, how many number of times you want to repeat the process, the best way is define the start value, define the stop value, and define the step value, and define the process. That is called like that loop is called as for loop over there. Hope you understand the things. There are three main types of loop. What is loop? Whenever you want to repeat a process for required number of times, then you have to establish a loop, right? But this loop also categorized in three types. One is while, second is do while, and third is for. While means like if you don't know the number of like fixed number of iterations, or if you don't know how many times this loop is going to interact, and you want to set a loop like this, then you need to write the but you want to test the condition of a loop on the top lines. You see, if it is not valid, then it is not going to process one time also. Then while loop is there. Do while means process and then check. Means the criteria of validity will be tested on the bottom line, not on the top line, right? But while and do while both may be performing the single type of task. That is, it keep on processing that loop till the validity of expression. The only difference is top line process, top line cross checking, and bottom line cross checking. It at any situation, do while is going to process once, while will not. And in any situation means, like if the criteria is invalid, then do while is not going to do while is going to process once, and while is not going to process once also. And in case of for, whenever there is a fixed counter, whenever you know the number of iterations of a loop, then you define the start value, stop value, and step value, and you can able to establish the loop. Let's say for here in this case, I discuss example for I equals to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus, means I get initialized to 1. When the control comes to is I is a counter, it gets initialized to 1 until the value of I remains less than equal to 10, I plus plus means it keep on incrementing I by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, 10. It's like this loop is going to process for 10 times. But if you set the loop like this also, it will work. For I equals to 10, you set the value of I by 10, and then I more than equals to 1, I minus minus. Means I starts from 10 and go on reducing to 1, and like every time it is going to decrement by, means like if you count, if you set the counter from 1 to 10, or if you set the counter from 10 to 1, reducing the value of I by 1, both the time this loop is going to iterate for 10 times. In this manner you can establish a loop over there. Hope you understand it. Now let us discuss some more programs which are depends on the looping logic. First of all, let us say read a number and print reverse. Read a number and print reverse means, like, let us understand that if you are input a number 1, 2, 3, 4 and you want to reverse it as a 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you know one thing, that if you want to reverse a number, what is the logic? N is 1, 2, 3, 4. So for reversing number, you have to divide that number. You have to divide by that number by 10. If you write n by 10, the quotient will be 1, 2, 3, and if you set the mod 10, it will give you the 4, right? So what you need to do, you need to like print the modulus of 10, that is 4, and then you divide that number by 10. Means if so, n mod 10, if you print it, it will print 4, and divide that number by 10 continuously till the value of n remains more than 0. Means like what the looping statements will be. Now here in this case, first of all, whenever you are trying to solve a problem of a loop, to solve this problem, which loop will be efficient? To solve this problem, which loop will be efficient? The efficient will be the while loop, because you have to read a number. You don't know the number of iterations. Do you know that how many times? Because right now you are dealing with a 4-digit number, but the user can able to input 2-digit number, 10-digit number, 5-digit number, any number. So the total number of iterations are not known to us. We know the only expression that till the validity of till the value of n remains more than 0. Now the total number of iterations may be 2, 5, 4, whatever, right? So let's understand. Now read a number and print reverse of it. Hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h, and then you define the void main, and then you write a number and define a counter over here. You clear the screen, printf, enter a number, ask the user to enter a number and scan that value. Now here you got a number as input. Now then you define the logic for printing reverse of a number. It is like while the value of n remains more than 0, as I just recently explained, n is having certain value, that is decimal number, till the value of n remains more than 0, right? What you need to do? Printf %d, don't go to the new line, n mod 10. Now n is a decimal number and hence we are performing mod 10. Mod 10 means it gives the remainder value. Let us understand, if the value of n is 1, 2, 3, 4, it is going to print 4 over here. Means like the last digit going to extract, and then you update n divide equal to 10. N divide equal to 10 is a short form of n equals to n by 10. Now n is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is more than 0, true. So it will perform this process and then print n mod 10. It will print 4 and the value of n become 123. And it will retest the condition over here. 123 is more than 0, yes, true. So now 123 mod 10 is 3. Initially it prints 4. Now it prints 3. Now the value of n was 123. So now it becomes 12. 12 is still more than 0. So 12 mod 10. Now it will print 2 and then 1, and then once it becomes 0, it will come out of the loop over here. So in this manner it is going to print the, it's like actually the number you inputted, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is going to print the 431. It's a reverse of that particular number. Hope you understand it, right? While reversing means like while solving a problem of a loop, let us understand that if you not set the loop over here, what will happen? You will write the separate statement every time, n mod 10, then n divide equal to 10, then again, like in this manner you have to write the steps for 4 different number of times. Now here in this case, till the value of n remains more than 0, what you have to repeat? Print n mod 10 and n divided by 10. These three statements are going to generate the reverse of any given number. Hope you understand it, right? Let us test one other example. The second example is, read a number to find factorial. Now what is factorial is, n factorial equals to n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3 till 1. Means factorial of a number means you have to reduce that number one by one till 1, and all entire multiplications you have to hold. All n multiples you have to hold over here. So what the process you want to repeat? Till the value of n will be input by the user. Till the value of n remains more than 0, means up to the 1, you reduce n by 1 and hold the multiplication of it. Let us set the loop for this. Hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h, then we have a void main, and then we declare the variables int n f equals to 1, as the factorial variable is going to hold the multiplication, so it has to initialize to 1, right? So you ask the user to input a number, right? Now we need to decide which loop should I use. As I again don't know the number of iterations, it depends on the value of n. So what I will do, I'll again set the while loop over there. Logic for factorial. What is logic for factorial? While the value of n remains more than 0, means till 1, what you have to do? F into equals to n. what is f into equals to n? F equals to f into n, means whatever the value of n, it is going to multiply it to f, and then n minus minus, reduce the value of n by 1 and keep on repeating it till the value of n remains more than 0, and then finally you need to print factorial of a number, that is the value of factor, that is the value of f, right? So in this manner you can read any number and able to find the factorial of any given number, right? Okay, then you go for test another program for this. Okay, now let us say read numbers till their summation remains less than equal to 100 and count total numbers entered. First of all, we need to understand the problem. What the problem is, go on reading numbers on the user, means you have to set the loop to read the numbers, but go on repeating like entering the numbers till their summation, till their addition, till their cumulative addition remains less than equal to 100. Means we don't know basically how many numbers we are going to enter again. It's like the main question is keep on reading the number till their cumulation remains less than 100 and count how many numbers entered. So the chances is user may enter directly 1000, right? But your program should able to give the able to accept that number and then cumulate it, and then after accumulation, if it is less than 100, then ask for another number. If it is more than 100, then it will come out and say that how many numbers were entered. You understand the question? Okay, let's go for it. Now after understanding the question, you will simply understand that this is the question of do while. This is not the question of a while, because initially what is the steps are? Read a number. What is the step is? Read a number and then add it, and after after adding that number, then you cross check whether the summation is less than equal to 100 or not. If it is less than 100, then keep on repeating. If not, then terminate. So it's a clear cut question of a do while, and as you don't know the number of iterations, then obviously it's not a for loop also, right? So what we need to do, int number, read a number, sum equals to 0 initially, right? And the count, because you want to count how many numbers you entered. Now here in this case, like what is the expression? While sum less than equal to 100. While sum less than, but sum will be sum is going to generate when you add the number, when you input the number. So it's a clear cut question of do while, right? It's a question of a do while, means do while the value of sum remains less than 100. Is it okay? Means first of all you have to enter a number, right? Read that number. When you read, after reading that number, you have to add it to the summation. Sum plus equal to n means sum equal to sum plus n, and then you increment the value. Once you enter the number, you increment the value of count by 1, because you input any one number over. And if after adding that number, if the summation is less than equal to 100, because this is the termination condition. If it is less than equal to 100, then it will again ask you to enter another number, and again add it into the previous summation, and go on incrementing down, right? Why I said this is the loop of do while over there, because let us understand. If you input 500, now the termination condition is summation should be less than 100, but you entered 500. But like if you use a while loop, while sum less than equal to 100, it will not allow you to enter the number again. So here in this case, first of all, let the number get to be entered, get into the addition, cumulate into the addition, then increment the counter and then terminate this up. So it's a clear-cut example of a do while, and then you print total numbers entered, that is the value of CNT, and the obviously summation. Summation means it has to be more than equal to 100, but anyway you can print the summation even. Summation will be the value of sum. So this program will ask you to enter the numbers till their summation less than equal to 100, and then finally it will print how many numbers you entered and their cumulative summations up terminating. Right? So this is the way how we can demonstrate the do while. Right? Now let us go for the next program to test. Let us say read a number to find 10 multiples of a number. Now 10 multiples means if you input as a 5 as a number, then I want to generate 10 multiples of 5, 10, 15, you know, up to 50. 10 multiples of a given number. Right? Now how many times this loop has to iterate is known to me. That is 10 times. So it's a depend on that. It's a clear-cut program of a for loop. What I said prior. If you don't know the number of iterations, if the number of iteration is one-time process of that particular programming logic, one-time process of a loop. If there is no fixed counter, then you have to go for the while and do while. And which loop should I prefer from while and do while? That depends again. Means like I will check the criteria on the top lines, or I will process it once and then check it. Like referring to the previous example, you will understand it, right? Now it's as we know that I want to repeat a process for 10 times. It's a clear-cut example of a for loop. So I will. What is the requirement over here? Int n is a number to which I want to whom I will find the like total number of multiples, and then I is a counter over there. Then clear the screen. Printf. Enter the number. Scan the number. And then loop to print 10 multiples. That is for I equals to 1, because I know the counter well, where to stop, where to start, where to stop, and what is the step. So I equals to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. So it will increment the value of I from 1 to 10, and printf, whatever to print, %d / t %d equals to %d and /n, the value of n, the value of I, and value of n into I. Right? Again, like in the condition branching, if you are if you have a single line block, then there is no need to enclose it in the left and right curly block. You can you can skip that block, and then you can print it. So here this code will read a number from you and able to print the 10 multiples of a given number. Right? So let us test another code for this. That read a number and find its digital sum. Digital sum means if input is 1, 2, 3, 4, so output I am expecting that whatever the digits I am having, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, means output will be 10. So what I have to do, I have to separate the digits, I have to add into the digital sum, and then digital sum I have to print over here. So hash include stdio.h, hash include onio.h, then voidman, then what is the prerequisite of this? Like enter a number, and I am requiring digital sum. Right? So it's again an example of while. So first of all, I will ask the user to enter a number. Right? Once user enter number, I will scan that number. Logic to find digital sum while the value of n remains more than 0. Right? dsum plus equals to n mod 10. n mod 10 is going to separate the digits, and n divide equal to 10. And after that, at the end, if I say digital sum is sum of all the digits in that number, that is dsum. So if you input 1 2 3 4, you get the answer 10. So these are the what we discussed in today's sessions. What is loop? Whenever you want to repeatedly execute the process, loop is to be established. Then there are three types of loop: while, do while, and for. In case of while, if the criteria, like if the total number of iterations, how many times the loop is going to process, that is not known to you. The number of process depends on number of iteration depends on the validity of the criteria. Then while or do while is used. While is preferable when you test the criteria and then allow the process. And in case of do while, you process and then allow. And the for is useful for whenever the counter is known to you, how many times this loop has to be tracked, then it has to be processed by the for loop. Hope you understand this. Thank you.